At the beginning of this year, I called the GeChic On-Lap 1503i one of my top gadgets of last year. This year, they've added the 1305H to the lineup. It's just as small, just as portable, 13.3-inch screen, but designed more for the business traveler. And as such, it doesn't have touchscreen functionality. However, it does have a portrait mode. It's available now for just under $300 from Amazon. So let's take a closer look, see if it's worth it and how it compares. Hi, I'm James Bruce and you're watching MakeUseOf.com reviews. Now in the On-Lap 1305H box, you will of course find the screen itself along with integrated stand and case. It's a very slimline effort with ports both on the side and the top, suitable for landscape or portrait mode. You also get a single proprietary 2-in-1 data and power cable that uses the USB for power and a standard HDMI port for the video signal. Now, some reviewers have lamented the fact that you need to have both an HDMI port and a USB in order to power the thing. The alternative, however, is that you use a single USB port for both data and power, the downside of which is that you need to install drivers, so it's not universally compatible with anything. By using both HDMI and USB, you can basically plug this into any device. You don't need to install special drivers, you don't need special ports. Anything that outputs a standard HDMI signal will work with this. So whether that's a Nintendo Switch or your laptop or even a DSLR camera or a mobile phone with the right adapter. If the device itself doesn't have a free USB port in order to provide power, then also in the box you're getting a 1.2 meter USB extension cable and a standard USB charger plug. Of course, you probably don't need to use this. You may already have a phone charger with you, or wherever you're staying may provide a USB port, in which case you can likely use that. This is just a bog standard 2 amp 5 volt USB charger, nothing special about it. So it's pretty much universal and will work with any device you have. And for me, that's a great selling point. That's definitely a pro, not a con. So the other benefit of using an HDMI port is that you can send a full 1080p HD signal over it. If you tried to put standard video data over a USB cable, you will likely get delays or lagginess in the system, or the image has to be compressed so much that it's going to look terrible for movies or for gaming. Now the flip side to this is that you have a single proprietary cable to take care of. And if you damage it, you will need to go back to GeChic to get a replacement. However, they're available on Amazon, so it's not exactly difficult and they are fairly inexpensive. It's just not as easy to replace as, say, a straight-through Type-C USB cable or something. You'll find all of the menu buttons along the right side, as well as a 3.5mm stereo and combined optical out port. There are no speakers on this model, no inbuilt speakers like there are on the larger 1503i model. So that's another thing that I sort of miss about that. The configuration options menu for the monitor is just about as complex to navigate as you'd expect on a monitor where there's only, say, 3 buttons to navigate a menu. It is a bit clunky, but you can get to everything you need to. So let's talk numbers for a bit. The display itself is 13.3 inches and it's a full HD 1080p 16:9 ratio. The screen itself is an FFS, which means fringe field switching TFT display, and there's a non-glossy coating. Brightness is around 250 nits or 300 candela per meter squared, which as far as I can tell is the brightest in this product category. Along with the combined case stand, which is required at all times, it weighs about 2.1 pounds or 950 grams. It has relatively thin bezels around the edge, about ½ an inch, except for on the bottom where there's about 1 inch. And again, in terms of thickness, it's a little bit thicker on the bottom, but overall it's about 8mm for the screen itself all the way around. There are a few different color modes as you'd expect, a sort of vivid or a game mode or a movie mode. And of course, depending on your input source, each of those modes may look better. The 12.5 millisecond response time means that you're going to have great lag-free gaming, and the viewing angle is around 178 degrees. So even in the bright sunlight, I can view it from here just fine. So that's all good. So in terms of overall display quality, it's excellent. It's just 13.3 inches, which might be a tad small for you. So now let's talk about the combined kickstand and case that it comes with, because this is where I feel it's let down a little bit. In the top right and left, you'll see we have these clips, and these keep the monitor secure when it's in landscape mode. Unfortunately, the clips actually come off. They're sort of magnetized and they can unclip, which does make me feel a little bit like I'm going to lose them. They're quite small. If you want to switch it into portrait mode, just unclip those. I'll unplug it to show you this. And then when you turn it around, there's an indent in the case here where the monitor can sit. Which way should it be? Yep, this way. Unfortunately, in this mode, the clips actually don't attach to the monitor, and you can see they just stay where they are. So in portrait mode, there's really nothing securing it to the case. It just sort of lays there delicately in the case. Now, because it has two input ports on both the side and the bottom, you can plug the cable in again, and that doesn't get in the way, which is great. So it does still work in portrait mode just fine. It's just a little bit delicate inside of this stand. Also, the monitor itself, of course, is just an output device. So even if you put it in portrait mode like this, you will still need to change the orientation on your laptop or whatever it is that you're using to output an image. It won't do that automatically for you. Around the back of the case, you'll find the magnetized, rubberized kickstand. Now, this is a metal plate that's built into the case itself. The kickstand can fold flat for travel, and then when you want to use it, you unfurl it, curl it around, and stick it there. So this kickstand design, I'm not quite so keen on as their older model. In the 1503i model, it actually has small notches along the back here where the kickstand can go into specific places, and it's very secure. I've never had a problem with it. However, on this, there's no notches for it to actually slot into. You sort of have free movement for any angle you want, which you might consider a plus point, but to be honest, setting the angle at a specific place is not a huge deal, I don't think. I would much rather have it more secure and unable to slide like that. Granted, it takes a lot of force to slide it, but still. The other thing about the kickstand is that it comes with this warning, and the warning tells you exactly what angle you can go up to depending on which mode you've got it. So for instance, if it's in portrait mode, you can only go up to this orange line. If it's in landscape mode, you can only go up to this blue line. The other thing this paper tells you is that there's a right and a wrong way to fold the kickstand up. Like this, if you fold it this way, that might look correct, but it's not, because it's actually very easy to slide there. What you have to do is fold this over so the rubberized piece touches the metal, and then you have a lot more friction, a lot less likely to fall over. That said, it's still functional, it still works, it's perfectly good as a case, and it's just a little bit more delicate than I'd like when in portrait mode. So should you buy the GeChic On-Lap 1305H? In terms of image quality, it's certainly the best on the market in its product category, with fantastic brightness and color reproduction, excellent response times, and no nasty compression artifacts from having to send the image over USB. It has that full HDMI input. So if you're in the market for a portable monitor, which is around 13.3 inches, with excellent image quality, then this is a good choice. Just know that the kickstand, although it does do portrait mode, it can be a bit delicate, and you will need to be careful when using it in that way. That said, for my money, I'd actually consider spending more. Like I said, the 1503i model is both larger, it has built-in speakers, and it has that touchscreen functionality through the USB port. So for just $100 more, I feel like you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. The 1503i is just under $400. And midway between the two, at $50 more than this, is the 1503H model, which is basically the same, just doesn't have the touchscreen functionality. Obviously, if you don't want a 15-inch screen, then that's fine. This is a great option. But for my money, I'd probably opt for the larger screen and the touchscreen and the built-in speakers. I think it's better value for money. Also, if you literally just want a portable monitor that you can use to read the web or put some documents on, and you really only want it for use with a single specific sort of laptop, then it might be worth looking at the ones that are connected through USB. The lag on the monitor, the fact that there'll be some image compression probably doesn't matter to you, and you do only want it for one specific task. In that case, you can pick one up for around $150 to $200. However, I would strongly suggest always going for the option that gives you more flexibility. Something that works over USB will always need device drivers installed to be able to work, so it really won't work with anything else. With something like this, if you do perhaps after 2 years your laptop breaks or you no longer need to travel, then you'll always be able to repurpose this for something else. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this review was useful to you in some way. If you'd like to enter our competition to win your own GeChic On-Lap 1305H portable monitor, click on the link in the description or head on over to MakeUseOf.com. If you're not already, please subscribe to this channel. We do twice a week gadget reviews and giveaways, as well as technology tips, DIY tutorials, and all that kind of good stuff. Thanks for watching, and until next time.